Welcome students, welcome to the accountancy point where we discuss the various concepts on accountancy for class 12, 11 and 12. Today the focus of our discussion will be guarantee of profit part 5. This is the last concept of guarantee of profit where we will discuss the distribution or the guarantee in case of loss. Before I begin the video, I would like to share with you all that the 4 previous videos are already put up in the description column for you all to go through. Please go through them and understand the concept. Before I begin with this particular topic of guarantee of profit in case of loss, a small question which I would like to ask from all of you, and I would expect that you will answer this in the comment box. There are 3 partners A, B and C sharing profits and losses in the ratio 3:2:1. C has been guaranteed. So your question is that in case if there is no other instruction given, then in what ratio will the deficiency be borne by the partners? Who will bear the loss, deficiency, and in which ratio? Please comment in the comment box. Now, let's come back to the topic of guarantee of profit in case of loss. Children, when there is a loss, you have to understand that no appropriations will be made. That means like there will be no interest on capital given, there will be no salary given, there will be no commission provided to the partners. Yes, but if there is any charge against profit, you will have to pass entries and make appropriations, adjustments for the charge against profit. Now, let us take a small example in order to understand this. There are 3 partners X, Y and Z sharing profits and losses in the ratio 2:1:1, and there is a net loss of rupees 40,000 for the year, and the partner Z was guaranteed a minimum amount of profit of rupees 10,000. So how are we going to distribute this? If you can see, we have a loss of rupees 40,000. So as we know, the losses will be shared amongst the partners in the profit sharing ratio. So the share of each partner, X will be having a loss of 20,000, Y will be having a loss of 10,000, and Z will also have a loss of rupees 10,000. But as per the question, Z was given a guarantee of profit of rupees 10,000. That means we want a profit of 10,000. We want plus 10,000. Whereas right now Z is getting a loss of 10,000. That means we will have to add 20,000 in this particular loss so that it can be compensated and Z will get a loss, a profit of rupees 10,000. So this is called the amount of deficiency. And in the absence of any other information, this 20,000 will be distributed between X and Y in their profit sharing ratio, which is 2:1. So the share of each one of them will be 20,000 divided by 3. It will be 6,667 for Y and 13,333 for X. So we will deduct 13,333 from X and 6,667 from Y. Since they were already having a loss and they are still paying this much to Z, so their amount of loss will increase. It will become 33,000 and this will become 16,667, whereas Z has earned a profit of rupees 10,000 now. The same concept we are going to understand with the help of the question which I have written over here. If you can see, I have written a question that there are 3 partners A, B and C. The profit sharing ratio is 3:2:1. Capital on 1st April 2018 amounted to rupees 50,000, 45,000 and 30,000 respectively. Interest on capital was to be allowed at the rate 10% per annum. C was guaranteed a minimum profit of rupees 25,000 in any of the years. There was a net loss incurred by the firm on 31st March 2019, which amounted to rupees 1,20,000. You have to show the distribution of loss, pass journal entries, and prepare partners capital account. A very simple understanding, children, over here. Since there is a net loss earned by the firm, so there will be no appropriation to be done. Interest on capital is an appropriation out of profit, and since there is a net loss with the firm, there will be no interest on capital allowed. So in this case, we have a net loss of rupees 1,20,000, which we will distribute amongst all the three partners A, B and C in the profit sharing ratio 3/6, 2/6 and 1/6. So because of that, the share of each partner, it's a loss of 20,000. B will incur a loss of 40,000 and C will incur a loss of rupees 60,000. Now after distributing the loss, we can understand over here that there was a guarantee given to C for rupees 25,000. It's a profit. Guarantee of profit of rupees 25,000. Whereas he is incurring a loss of 20,000. So it clearly shows that if we will add 45,000 to this particular loss, then the amount of profit will become 25,000. This 45,000 is the amount of deficiency which will be shared by A and B in their profit sharing ratio. So the profit sharing ratio of A and B is 3:2. So the amount of deficiency of 45,000 will be paid by 45,000 will be distributed between A and B in the profit sharing ratio 3:2. So it will be 27,000 and 18,000 respectively. This much amount will be paid by A. A will pay 27,000 and B will pay 18,000. So because of this, the net loss of A will be 87,000 and for B it will be rupees 58,000, whereas C will incur a profit of rupees 25,000 now. Now let us pass journal entries to see this working. Now this is the format of journal entry, where first of all we will pass the entry on 31st March 2019. We will transfer the amount of loss to partners directly. The amount of journal entry will be A's capital account debit, B's capital account debit, C's capital account debit to profit and loss account. Amount of loss distributed in profit sharing ratio 3:2:1. So as you can see, we have distributed the amount of loss, and the share of A is 60,000, share of B is 40,000, share of C is 20,000. The total amount of loss is rupees 1,20,000. Now we will pass the entry for the compensation. Over here A and B are paying to C. So on this date we will pass the entry A's capital. Since A is paying, so A's capital account debit, B's capital account debit to C's capital account. Since C is getting amount of guarantee adjusted by A and B in the ratio 3:2. So the amount of deficiency was rupees 45,000, which is paid by 27,000 and 18,000 respectively. Now we will see the same with the help of partners capital account. This partners capital account, first of all we will transfer the opening balance of capital. A's opening balance was rupees 50,000, B's 45,000, C 30,000. Since it's a loss, so there is no question of interest on capital to be allowed. We will directly pass the entry for the transfer of loss. So the loss will reduce the capital account of the partners. We will pass the entry to profit and loss account. Share of each one of them will be rupees 60,000, 40,000 and rupees 20,000. Now there is a compensation. A and B are paying to C. So by A's capital account, A is paying 27,000 to C. By B's capital account, B is paying 18,000 to C. Because of that, their capitals are still getting reduced. So to C's capital account, A is paying 27,000, B is paying 18,000. We don't have anything else to do. We will just balance partners' capital over here. Total is credit side, debit side is more over here. So we have 87,000 debit side. 87,000 will be written over here. By balance carried down, balance will be 37,000 for A. Similarly, B's also debit side is more, 58,000. 58,000. Balance is rupees 13,000. But C's credit side is more. It will be rupees 75,000. This 75,000 will be transferred over here, and there will be a balance, to balance carried down, 75 minus 20, 55,000. We will take one more example to understand the concept. This is second question which I have taken to clear the concept. The same question has been repeated with some modification. There are three partners, A, B and C, sharing profits and losses in the ratio 3:2:1. Capital remains the same, 50,000, 45,000 and 30,000. The only change which I have made is that B had advanced a loan of rupees 50,000 on 1st October 2018, on which interest is still payable. C was guaranteed a minimum profit of rupees 25,000 and net loss of the firm is rupees 1,21,500 before the adjustments for interest on loan. We have to show the distribution of loss and pass journal entries and prepare the partners capital account once again. Now before I move ahead, children, let me tell you that this is a net loss. And as I told you previously also, that in case of net loss, we don't make any appropriations. But if there is any charge, we make provisions and make payment entry for the charge against profits. So over here you have a net loss of rupees 1,21,500. And this net loss, out of this you have to pay interest on loan, B's loan. Now if you check over here, that loan amount was rupees 50,000 and it was payable rate is not given. So we will consider it is 50,000 into 6%. In the absence of any other information, we take interest on loan rate 6% per annum, and it was advanced on 1st October. So we will allow interest for 6 months, which will be rupees 1,500. Total amount of this was already a loss. We have paid 1,500 more, so amount of loss will be 1,23,000. This is your corrected net loss. Now this loss we will distribute among the three partners in the profit sharing ratio amongst A, B and C in the ratio 3/6, 2/6 and 1/6. So 1,23,000 divided by 6, it will be 20,500 for C. It is a loss of this much. For B it will be 41,000 loss, and for C it will be a loss of rupees 61,500. Now we will check the guarantee. The amount of guarantees is still rupees 25,000. So we will draw a line. We will see over here that we need 25,000 plus, that means a profit whereas we are having a loss of 2500. So the total amount of deficiency will be added and it is 45,500. So this is your amount of deficiency which has to be borne by A and B in their profit sharing ratio, which is 3:2. So 45,500 divided by 5 into 3. Share of A will be 27,300, whereas of B it will be 18,200. That means A will pay 27,300 more, whereas B will pay 18,200 more. They were already having a loss of 61,500. He will still pay another 27,300. So the total amount of loss will become 88,800 for him, and it will be 59,200 for him. Now we will see the same with the help of journal entries. We will first of all pass the entry on 31st March 2019 for the charge against profit, that was the interest on loan. So your entry will be interest on A's loan account debit to A's loan account. Narration: interest on A's loan due, amount 1,500. Now we will pass the transfer entry, we'll transfer it to profit and loss account. So my entry will become profit and loss account debit to interest on A's loan account. Interest on A's loan transferred to A's loan account. To profit and loss account. Now, after transferring the interest, we were already having a loss of 1,21,500. We are having another, we are going to pay 1,500, so our amount of loss has increased. So now this amount of loss, the total loss 1,23,000, will be distributed between A, B and C. So we will pass the entry A's capital account debit, B's capital account debit, C's capital account debit to profit and loss account. Net loss distributed in profit sharing ratio 3:2:1, which will be A's share is 61,500, B's share will be 41,000 and C's share will be 20,500. The total amount of loss is 1,23,000. After passing that entry, we will pass the entry for the adjustment and payment of deficiency. So the entry will be A's, since A and B are paying the deficiency, so A's capital account debit, B's capital account debit to C's capital account. A will be paying a deficiency of 27,300 and B will be paying the deficiency of 18,200, and he will get a amount of 45,500. So amount of guarantee met by A and B. This is what the journal entry. Now we'll see partner's capital account for the same question. No change in the way partner's capital account to be prepared. First of all, we will copy the opening balance as we had done in the previous example: 50,000, 45,000 and 30,000. After this, interest on loan will not impact your partner's capital. So we will show the distribution, the amount of loss. So to profit and loss account, the amount of loss borne by A is 61,500, B 41,000, C it is 20,500. After that there is compensation paid. So over here we will write by A's capital account. A is paying a deficiency of 27,300 to C, and B is paying a deficiency of rupees 18,200 to C. Because of that, their capital will get reduced. So to C's capital account, 27,300, 18,200, and now we will balance as we balanced in the previous example. So here debit side is more, it will be 800, 718, 628, 88,800. The balancing figure will be your closing balance of capital balance CD, which is 38,800. Similarly for B, it will be 59,200, 59,200. Balancing figure will be 14,200. Whereas C's credit balance is more, it is rupees 75,500, 75,500, and the balancing figure will be 55,000. So this will be the closing balance of capital of C. With this, we end with the concept of guarantee of profit. Hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.